Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Canadian Passive Investing Show. I'm your host, Ava Benesocky, and I'm joined by my co-host, August Biniaz. We have another incredible show for you today, so please like and subscribe as it helps us build our channel and allows us to keep bringing you great content and expert guest speakers. Our mission is to empower investors to earn passive income through real estate investing. Now, today we are joined by Prashant Kumar. A little bit about Prashant. He's a strong technology and management background for the past 25 years. He owns about 100 single-family and multifamily units in his personal portfolio. Prashant has been in multifamily in a GP capacity for the last 5 years and has syndicated 2,000 units. He lives in Long Island with his wife, daughter, and son. We believe this interview with Prashant is going to bring great value to the everyday busy professional looking to learn about the benefits real estate investing can provide. So we're looking forward to this conversation. Welcome, Prashant.
Welcome, Prashant.
Eva and August, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
Absolutely. Honor is 100% ours.
For sure.
Yeah, please.
Prashant, why don't we just start off by you telling us about your background and then your start in real estate, please.
See, I come from a very humble background from India. I moved here in 1998. Before that, I was as you know that I had a technology background. So I went to one of the good universities, one of the best universities in the country. And I moved here in 1998. Ever since
What city was that? What university was it? What city?
That was IIT.
Okay. My parents both got educated in India, in Bangalore. That's why I asked.
Okay. So this is IIT Roorkee. So it's one of the top institutes of the country. Those who know, they know it. But I moved here in 1998. I worked with multinational companies, all the corporations. I'm an IT expert in life sciences industry. I worked with companies like Pfizer, Bayer, you name it, all in the consultant and management capacity. So, but the only thing, which was always at the back of my mind is I am trading my expertise by hour with my clients, right? So that, if I don't work, I don't get paid. And it was there at the back of my mind, but at some point you have to take an action, right? So I took an action. I said, listen, I'm going to look for something which everybody is doing. So, and fortunately, one of my cousins have been doing real estate for some time. So he pushed me and he said, you have to do real estate. And I just fell in his traps, so to say.
Good trap. It's a good
trap.
Yeah, yes. And I just bought like 3 single family homes in like 6 months.
Okay.
And I realized, man, it is too much work. I mean, it took me a lot of time. I could have cut the check myself. Banks would give me a hard time to give me the loan. I said, man, this is not worth my time because I'm going to make only $100, $200 on those single family homes. So then I said, let me look into multifamily. And I found a multifamily 24 units in Texas. I bought that in a matter of 17 days.
When was that? What was the date for that?
That was 14th December 2017.
Okay.
14th December 2017.
Exact date. That's great. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. 14th December 2017. I visited Mission, Texas. That's the southernmost part of the country. I visited the property. I met the banker, and banker was hungry to close the loan. He has to meet his quota, and he closed the loan in 15 days.
Nice.
It took me literally 15 minutes to send him a PFS, personal financial statement, and my schedule of REO. And he did the loan for me, and he closed the loan on 29th of December. And I was blown away. I said, man, this is crazy. I mean, those single family homes, $200,000 loan. And here, this is $1 million loan, and this guy can give me the loan. So I said, I'm just going to do multifamily from that point. That's my transition into multifamily. But like everybody else, money, your white powder is limited. How much can you buy? I bought 72 also after that from my own money. But, then there was no money left. And I said, I cannot just stop my life here,
We're going to get into that for sure. And
I just want to quickly touch on something. A lot of people that, it's actually easier to get a multifamily loan than it is to get
Commercial loan to residential. Yeah, definitely. Yes.
I just wanted to touch on that because
Yeah, that's the main point I want to communicate, guys, because your single family home loan is based on your income. It is based on your W-2 that you are regularly receiving from your employer. It's debt to income ratio. Every time you buy a home, your debt to income ratio goes down because your debt is increasing. Your income to debt ratio, let's put it this way, income to debt ratio, that goes down because your debt is increasing. And at a certain point after, bank will not give you the loan. If you buy 3 homes, 4 homes, and that's about it. After 5 homes, you're not going to get any more loans. If you go to commercial bank, it is not dependent on your income. It is not you as August or Ava make from your W-2 job. It is what property is making. So bank underwrites the property based on, and so banks give the loan as long as your DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, as long as the income produced by the property is 1.25 times the debt service, bank is willing to give you the loan because banks are in the business of making loans.
Yes.
So they find the assets and at the same time they underwrite the person who's buying. I mean, they're not going to give the loan to somebody off the street, but they just want to make sure that your credit histories are okay. And you are a good payer and your credit score is okay. So those kind of things, not what you make as W-2.
Yeah, exactly. And I really wanted to touch on that
For sure.
to
No,
educate
absolutely.
people listening.
And now to talk about this transition. So you're involved in your business, but then you get involved in single family, investing, and then you realize this great opportunity with multifamily and just the advantages that we just spoke of. But at some point you run out of your own money. You're like, hey, I wish I can buy more properties. And you see that, hey, the properties are gaining in value. This is a great, tremendous business. It's so great that us Canadians are even investing in the US. So it must be great. But then you say, hey, I'm in need of equity. And the bank is not going to give me any more debt. I still need, cash for this equity needed for the down payment and the capital expenditure and contingency. Hey, what do you do there? Like, where do you start? What's like the first step? Tell us about your journey.
Yeah, see, basically it is, you have to have some money, right? I mean, and there are a lot of people who say you don't need your own money to buy bigger multifamily. That is, at some level, it is correct depending upon where you are coming from, right? But the way I do it, obviously I have some cash. When I go look for a multifamily, I put my own cash as a hard money on a project, and I continue to do that until the closing time. So there is a lot of money that is spent in the due diligence on any project, right? So, I mean, either I or my other partners, multifamily is a team game, right? You cannot do it by yourself. I cannot do it by myself. So I have to have the people around me, my support system. I think that's a very important part. People do not talk about it, a support system. Even if I have to work 24/7 for 2 months, I cannot myself close a multifamily deal if I'm syndicating because of the amount of work.
You didn't know this when you first started. So now you're in this stage, you want to buy multifamily, like I need more equity. What is the first step you take? Now you have some money, obviously you can put a down payment, but coming to that realization, what was the first step you take? So kind of in the past, we've heard people go to meetup groups or to talk to mentors or, research. What was your journey like?
So my journey is when I jumped into the syndication world, I did not know anything about syndication. The first step I would take if I want to learn a business, I would either hire a mentor or a group. I become part of a group, and I'm very cheap, by the way, and I say that proudly.
Frugal.
Yeah. And I say that proudly because it worked for me. I went to a group.
By the way, the best fund managers and the best general partners have to be frugal. So that's a good trait that you have.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes. I'll take that as a compliment. Yes. So I went to a group. I said, guys, and I was not off the street. I said, guys, I will join your group. I will work for you for free. I'll bring my net worth, my liquidity, my contacts, and money, and my personal work ethics to help you close deals. You ask me to clean your floors, I will do that also for you. but I will work for you for free. And what else? I mean, if somebody comes to me with that, I will say, come, I will
Yes.
use your help. So
Yes.
they accepted my offer, and I worked for them, believe it or not, 4 or 5 hours a day for free every day, 6 months. I helped them close a deal, basically, not just administrative work. It is, as I said, I bring my net worth, liquidity, blah, blah, blah. I brought all my resources to the table. And even in the first deal, I became a general partner with them.
Nice. Co-GP,
you.
co-GP. Now, quick question for you. As far as the region, now this the business model was there. You fell in love multifamily. You realize you need equity. You partner with this other group. But when you deciding what region you want to invest in, particularly this team that you partner with, how did you go about making that decision? Was it a region that you were already involved in? Was it geographically close to you? Talk to us about that.
Well, I didn't care about what region it was. All I wanted to do was to get into a deal and learn the business.
Nice.
It was their duty to find a deal. I did not find the deal. They found the deal, and it happened to be a good market, Houston market. They found the deal. I worked on it. I became general partner on the deal, and rest is history. Basically, you do one deal and you do another deal, and then you do another deal. Basically,
amazing.
You have learned the ropes of the business. That is more important, right? I mean, I always say I can talk whole day sitting here, talk about swimming whole day. I can teach you on the board how to swim, but unless you jump into the swimming pool, you would not know iota of what the swimming is.
Yes,
right?
very well said. Yeah.
So I did not learn it from gurus. I still don't have any gurus. I do have some mentors, but things like that. But I'm a hands-on guy, basically.
Yes.
I wear t-shirts on my interviews. I'm a real hands-on guy.
But one more thing, Prashant, is the humility in you and that yearning to want to be involved, that you came and say, hey, I'll do whatever it takes to do a deal because I want that track record. I want that involvement so bad. And unfortunately, some people don't understand that concept. But that's a lot of the same way with a lot of different things in life. Is sometimes we have a vision, we have a mission, and no matter what it takes, is we're laser focused on that idea that, hey, I'm going to be able to be involved in a project. I mean, when we started,
and he believed in it so much that he was willing to do what he had to do, and that's such a
put his
beautiful
time.
thing. Yeah,
put his time. That was already
you've seen what your future was going to look like.
Similar
so
thing
really
in our situation, being here in Canada, we realized it started from a problem. We both being in the real estate industry, we realized the problem that existed, Ava for her investor clients as a real estate agent, myself as a developer, and the problems I was having with the city hall and the length of time it took for rezoning and putting projects together, and by the end of it, the market could change. When we looked to the US and we saw the opportunity that existed there, and that we could help Canadian investors invest passively. Here in Vancouver, the city we live in, the median income is $90,000. The median home price is 1.3 million. Most people can't buy 1 or 2 or 3 properties like you did because it's very difficult. Mortgage laws are even more strict here in Canada. So when we realized that, we were laser focused, and we said we're going to do a deal in the US, and we close on a few deals already. So we're very excited about that. But again, the same concept. We do really appreciate that concept. So now walk us through. So you do a deal with a group, you gain that track record, you get your feet wet, as they like to say it, you jump in the pool completely.
Yeah, you get the knowledge.
Now, talk to us about a process where we like to call it the cultivation and nurture of the investor. So in our case, we create content, we speak on different platforms, we somehow get in front of the investor, the potential investor. And then when they connect with us, they come into our process, and then we nurture them. We send them a lot of other great content. So eventually, when we have a deal, by that time, they've already learned about us. Talk to us about how you went about building this relationship with potential investors.
Well, I mean, I commend you guys, whatever you guys are doing. I see you guys all the time. And I mean, I'm kind of following what you guys are doing, plus others also. So I'm doing the similar things. I have a platform, myrealtygains.com, wherever it is. And investors, somehow get into my funnel. I have marketing team, like everybody else. I have a funnel, and I create a lot of contents, a lot of interviews, and I send my newsletters out, communicating with the investors all the time. It's a constant process. Constant process. Even if you don't have a deal, you have to continue to work on that to be putting your face out there. I mean, to me, more than anything else, it's an organic growth. I mean, yes, technology is one thing. People are knowing who you are, but unless they have talked to you, I mean, I've seen you so many times, but now that I have talked to you, I have more relationships, so to say, right?
Yeah.
So I always try to put myself out there, try to spend some time with investors and and discuss with them
There's an
what they are
investor
looking.
calling you right now, Prashant.
Actually, you're right. Actually, you're right. There's an investor here.
It's good for you. You know, it's really great that you're putting content out there because people don't know what they don't know. And it just takes one video for them to be intrigued with what you're saying. And then they start watching you. And as they're watching you, because they're intrigued by your content, then they get to know you kind of before they talk to you. And then when they talk to you, they're already so engaged with who
Yes.
you are. It's just such a beautiful concept how it kind of grows
No, for sure.
into a relationship.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this business is all
So,
about relationships.
so let me ask you guys both a question because
Sure.
both of you guys, I'm presuming, obviously you're on our head of our investor relations, but I'm presuming that Prashant is also head of his investor relations on his company. So that main point of contact with investors. So eventually they go through the funnel, they get on a call with you guys. How important is that call? Is that initial call with an investor after they've been watching your items, after they've been nurtured for a while? How important is that call? And what are the odds compared to people who are just getting your information and then investing with you, or compared to people who've been on a call with you and then investing with you? What is the ratio of that? I'd like to ask both of you, I guess.
I mean, in my case, those who have talked to me, they are connected with me. And they are likely, 50% of them end up working with me in some capacity, whether they come, because a lot of them are already syndicator, 50% of them are actually end up investing with me.
Nice.
Because the first call is not about selling. First call is about getting to know them at a personal level, being humble and knowing where they are coming from.
Yes.
So we are not trying to push them, sell them on day one, right? I mean, and Eva, I think you would agree to that point. You are trying to understand what they are, right? I mean, maybe they are not suitable. I mean, maybe they are not ready to invest. So your tone goes in slightly differently. And those who are ready to invest, they say, listen, I'm ready. I don't need to talk to you. And they just cut the check.
Yes, for sure. Definitely. I think on that initial call too, it's really important and for them to get off that call and say, I understand what's going on here. I understand the process and I'm excited about it to learn more if I'm not ready to invest now. But I always want investors to leave that call saying, I understand what's going on here. And I feel confident as an investor sitting on this end. I understand the basics. When I'm ready, I'll reach out to you. So that's really good. Really good.
And I'll just reemphasize, it's not about selling. It's not about we telling who we are. I mean, you may have $1 billion portfolio. I mean, investor doesn't care about it. It's we knowing what investor is. What is the humble background he's coming from? Yeah. I mean, what can he do? I mean, part of it is to assess what can he invest with us, if he's just 9 to 5 person has, $200,000-300,000 saving and he wants to invest that's something for you to know. And if he's a businessman who has $4 or $5 million worth of portfolio, then that's important for you to know also, because then you assess how much is what can be the future with that investor for, with your company.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and absolutely.
Another item here is also that, when you get to know the investor, just makes the process a lot easier for them to want to do business with you,
of course,
and so on and so forth.
It's all relationship based, of course, and understanding each other and understanding their needs.
So now another question that comes to mind is also the ratio of your time and resources spent on the investor relations portion of your company, and the amount of time and resources that is spent on the deal flow portion of your company. So talk to us about that, because that's a balance that we have tried to assess. Obviously, currently we pick out the best operators in the regions we want to invest in, and we partner with those operators. Obviously, we're the general partner, co-GP, like you as well. But talk to us about your time and resources. How much is it going in the deal side of this model?
See, I must say that there are 3 components of this business. One is acquisition, right? Second is asset management, and third is investor relations. And if you divide your time in these 3 proportionately, then you are doing a service to yourself. If you spend too much time on investor relation, depending upon how many people are there. I'm just checking the resources. You have to have, in my mind, at least 25 to 30% time devoted for investor relations, 25 to 30% time for your deal acquisition. That may mean that you have to travel, you have to look at new projects, you have to underwrite them, and at least 25 to 30% time for asset management, and some time, of course, in the exit of the deal also. So you have to create a balance. You cannot just do deal acquisitions and asset management, then you don't have investor relations. You cannot just do investor relations and then you don't have any deals. So in my mind, at least 1/4 to 1/3 of time should be spent in each of the activities, depending upon where you are, how many deals you are working on. That's my way of looking at it. Everybody has different ways. Some bigger syndicators, those who have 4 or 5 employees, they have at least one person, managing the investor relation, one asset manager, one underwriting, and one guy overseeing the whole thing. Right. So typically that's the structure, right? I mean, I'm talking about a smaller syndicators. If we are alone, then you divide your time basically. Otherwise, you cannot survive. The world is, there is too much competition out there. You have to do everything.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And on that last point about the relationship of the general partner and the limited partners, the investors and the sponsor, that relationship, I mean, when you compare our space, this kind of syndicated investment space, or the real estate private equity, this multifamily space that we're both in, the relationship with the general partner and the limited partner is very close. In most cases, there's a call with the GP and the LP on a call. In both of our cases, our CEO gets on a call with investors. But when you look at the bigger groups like REITs and publicly traded vehicles within the real estate space, there is there's so many people down the line that you don't even get a chance to get on a call with the leadership team, let alone the CEO. So that's another item I love about the syndication space, which is so incredible, that very close connection between the GP and the LP. So that's great.
I totally agree, August. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I meet my LPs all the time in various gatherings, meetings. Sometimes they come to my birthday parties for my kids, and I go to them. But
We're the same. We're the same on our end. It's all about a community, honestly. It's about a community. People want to be part of something. They want to be, show up with other like-minded individuals and be part of something. So that community existence
and transparency. It's important to be transparent in every level possible. These investors are trusting you with their hard-earned money. They're trusting your expertise, your astuteness. So there needs to be full transparency and that direct communication.
So I'll say full transparency, 100%. Humbleness, and you have to understand, to your point, they are giving their money to you, to their hard-earned money. That's their life, right? So we have to protect their money with our life.
Well said, Prashant.
Well said.
That's our fiduciary duty.
No. We recently went and visited our mentor, Dan Hanford, in Columbia, South Carolina. And it was a workshop about raising capital and the relationship between the GP and the LP. And we learned this concept of, for us looking to kind of gain lots of investors and what have you, is this idea of putting out a lot of content in different platforms. But not only content, but also somehow connecting with different potential investors. Now, for us, for example, LinkedIn is a very important platform. Also, we speak on many different shows. We have our own YouTube show, as you're on now. Talk to us about yourself. What are those main channels where has in the past worked so well for you as far as bringing in potential investors for you?
Yeah, so similar to your YouTube show, I have a webinar that I do once in 2 weeks. I have kind of not doing it for last couple of months because I'm a little busy, but I have been doing that for last couple of years. That has helped me a lot. My database has grown quite a bit. I'm not so good. I mean, I feel that that's something which is lacking. I'm not so good in spending time on Facebook and LinkedIn, but I have a marketing team who helps do some postings for me. and I have been teaching them, bringing them up to the speed, but still they are.
Yeah.
They
By the way, I've been to a few of your webinars in the past. Just I
you have
got
it?
yes,
Have you? Yeah,
I
yeah,
have.
No,
Yes.
very good, very good. So yeah, so that's my way of communicating and connecting. I'm trying to, teach my marketing guys a little bit more. I cannot switch my marketing team again and again. So you have to kind of build the portfolio, build their strength. I give them some extra business also. That way they become a little more faithful somehow.
Yes.
I personally cannot spend too much time. I mean, maybe that's not my expertise, but I do want to spend time. I mean, I do want to spend a little bit of time on this, and at the same time, these are the normal things. My blogs, my LinkedIn profile, my Facebook profile, anything what I'm doing. Wishing them happy birthday, wishing them Thanksgiving, wishing them Hanukkah, and all that. Just to put myself out there.
Good for you. And I've learned to being in the business too. And of course, there's being the master of delegation, right? When you focus on what you're really strong at, what you're really good at, you can really succeed and grow your company to new levels. And delegating the things that you're not so good at, that you don't really have much time to spend, and delegating those so they still get done, but then focusing on your strengths. So good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, to your point, yeah, I mean, the current project that I'm working on, San Antonio Viva Max 240 units, in my team, I had to tell my guys, you have to take care of my portal, you have to take care of my asset management, you have to take care of my talks with the legal, you have to take care of this. I mean, I have like a team of 7 people who's doing the work. And I said, if you have any questions, you come back to me. Otherwise, I would consider that you are going to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Having a strong team around you. That's great.
Yeah, otherwise you just cannot do the whole thing. I mean, as I said, you can work 60 days, 24/7 yourself. You cannot close a deal. Just too much work for you.
Okay, a couple of more questions for you before we get to the next segment of the show.
Yes.
One is are you currently partnering with active operators in other regions as well, or are you the lead operator sponsor? How's that how's your structure currently?
I'm a lead operator at this time. I have been doing partnering with a lot of other operators, but right now have reached to a point where I have my own deals. So I'm closing actually 2 deals for myself and 2 deals with other people, but as a lead sponsor on them.
Oh, very
Great.
good for you.
Great. Awesome. And the other question is, as far as the regions, where is the region that you feel the most bullish about? Where do you feel like, hey, this is the where I feel strongly enough to invest my capital and my investors' capital? And tell us why.
Yeah. So right now I'm focusing on the Austin to San Antonio market. That belt. Austin, San Marcos, and San Antonio. We feel that Austin has achieved enough growth. So we are moving towards San Antonio a little bit. And in between, we have San Marcos. So San Marcos to San Antonio, that's a belt that we are focusing on. We have 1 deal that we are closing this year, hopefully. I mean, 100% not hopefully, because we are already in the contract and we're working towards closing. And then we have other deals which are coming up in that market, which we plan to close. And the reason why we chose that market, we have seen the bullish trend in Austin, and we feel that San Antonio is going to observe the same kind of bullishness because San Antonio is a bigger city than Austin. Number 1. Number 2, San Antonio has more potential, for renters as compared to Austin. Plus, Austin, we have heard, Tesla is moving there, and Austin has a lot of employment and the job growth that has happened in past. We have not gone into tertiary markets yet. San Antonio is still a secondary market. But I feel, 1 or 2 deals, then we'll assess where we are. But at least for now, San Antonio and San Marcos market, that's where we are focusing.
Great.
Awesome,
Really appreciate
Prashant.
that. Yeah, there was lots of great information. Now we move to the next segment of our show.
And it's the 10 championship rounds to financial freedom.
Okay.
Well, actually, one quick question before we do
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Okay.
Prashant, what is your number 1 advice to a passive investor looking to start investing in a syndication? What is your number 1 advice to a passive investor?
See, passive investors have to, it is difficult for passive investors to trust an operator, right? They have to do their research. And at some point, they have to take a faithful decision that, yes, I'm going to invest with these guys. So my number one advice would be to find an opportunity and feel comfortable about, and whomsoever, find the guys in your circle itself. Why to go to the REITs where you don't know, you cannot talk to the, right now, if you throw a stone, you can find a syndicator, right? I mean, there are a lot of groups, who are there out there. Meet them, build your trust with them, take your time for a month or so, and then invest with them. You are investing in a tangible asset. You cannot lose money, right? You are investing in a tangible asset, and realize the importance, how much the passive investing can do for you, right? So, it's not a speculation game. There's some speculation involved, but I educate my investors, guys. If I'm not the right one, I'll tell you who's the right one for you. So build your relationship with somebody and invest with them, and continue to learn the process, continue to learn the ropes. You don't have to be investing only with one operator. You can invest with any operator in this world.
Great advice.
There you
Great
go, and
advice.
get your money working for you and create some time freedom to do more of the things you love.
That is correct. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Prashant, here we go. The 10 championship rounds to financial freedom. I'm going to go ahead and ask the first question. Who is the most influential person in your life?
See, none from my business world. Somebody who has nurtured me as a person, as my spiritual guide, and I have been into meditation practices for a long time, for last 25-30 years. I practice meditation, and I nurture myself and help others to nurture too. I'm at that, I don't want to say level. So my spiritual guide has been the most influential person in my life.
Very nice.
Great.
Wonderful. What is the number one book you would recommend?
So on the same lines, there's a book called The Heartfulness Way.
The Heartfulness Way.
The Heartfulness Way, something that comes from your heart. That's what you do in your life. Very simple book. And I would love to send you the copy of that book. If you give me your address, I would be honored to send it to you as a token of appreciation.
Sure.
This book is on Amazon.com, a bestseller on Amazon.com. I read that. That's a great book for a leisurely reading.
Amazing. And Ava will send a copy of her book signed to you as soon as we, to do that for both.
Sure.
Perfect. If you had the opportunity to travel back in time, what advice would you give your younger self?
Oh my God. I would start real estate business when I was 25.
Nice.
I'm too late in this world, I'm 47.
Oh, you're still a young man.
You're young. You're young.
I would start when I would be out of college, and I'm giving that advice to my kids.
Nice.
My daughter, my son, who's 10-year-old, is already reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Nice.
My daughter has already gone through it. So that's the first advice I give them. I say, guys, yes, you can work W-2, have bigger dreams, which is good, learn the ropes, but start building something for yourself on day one.
Fantastic. Prashant, what's the best investment you've ever made?
Well, that's the best investment I have made, is helping somebody else, getting their trust. And I became the GP in that project. And I'm sure that will give me good returns. The one which I talked about earlier, that I think that's going to be my best investment,
Nice. Now, what's the worst investment you've ever made?
Worst investment is, do not jump into D-class assets or D-class tenants.
Okay.
I'm
Tell us
selling.
what that is. Tell us what D-class is, just for our viewers.
Yeah, D-class. D-class is, the folks who don't have the credit history, the folks who are living. I'm not against anything. That's not the point. It's about you as a businessman. Just don't get into where people do not have time or ability to pay. They live on a daily wages. They don't have a stable income. They live in your asset. I have a single family home which I'm selling. 3 years. I gave him the brand new home. 3 years he made the mess of the house. So I have to spend another 10,000 to fix that house. I give him 10,000 to get out of the house. and after spending so much time. So
Right.
vet your tenants, vet your tenants. Do
For
not
sure.
get into D-class tenants or D-class assets.
Got it. Now, how much would you need in the bank to retire today? What's your number?
See, my desires are too much. so, so
That's
I'm not the right person to ask.
His number is too much. That's his number.
The number's too much. That's a good
It's
one.
too much. No, actually, jokes apart, I have not thought the answer of that. As long as I can have $10,000 per month income, $10,000 to $20,000 per month income, I'm good enough. I can I retire right now? I can, but I think I don't want to retire. That's the cliche. It's like
You love
you
what
want. It's like your. It's like your battle, right? In this world, I don't care about how much money. I care about what am I doing? How am I using my time
yeah, your purpose every day.
or the purpose every day? Yeah,
Very nice. Next question. If you could have dinner with someone dead or alive, who would it be?
I would have dinner with my again going back to my spiritual guide, spend some time with him.
Yes.
But it's not dinner, it's basically spending time with him.
Yes.
Is nourishing yourself, becoming a better person every day.
Very nice. I like that.
That's my number one desire.
Nice. If you weren't doing what you're doing today, what would you be doing now?
I'll be closing my eyes and meditating right now.
Wow. He would be an actual guru if he
Yes.
wasn't.
Nice.
No, again, guys, I'm not imposing anything. I'm not trying to.
No,
make-
meditation
I
has
think
been
the-
scientifically proven. It's not a concept, or obviously meditation, yoga, and that kind of a power of mind, mindfulness
yeah.
are just scientifically proven to assist in many different things. So this is not
The
in
world
any
would
way.
be a better place if everybody was to take the time.
That is true. That is true. That is 100% true.
Now, book smarts or street smarts?
I'm street smart. I'm not book smart. I don't read any books, by the way.
Okay, nice, nice.
That's my problem, actually. I don't read too much. I have too many books. I have library just behind me. You don't see it here, but maybe I'll show you. But I do not read. I'm just learning from talking to fine gentlemen, gentlewomen, ladies like you. That's how I learn, right? I mean, I would pick up a phone and call Ava. Listen, what should I do, rather than going through the books, stuff like that.
Learn in real life, right? Last question, Prasant. If you had $1 million cash and you had to make one investment today, what would it be?
Well, I'm not going to make any investment until I'm satisfied. And I do have $1 million in my account. I'm just waiting for it to be invested.
Yes.
So the point is that I would invest carefully. I would not just go and invest. My money is not looking for investment. Investment has to make sense. Then only I will invest.
All right. And that's a wrap, Prashant. Amazing. Thank you so much. And maybe you could just quickly let everybody know, what is the best way that people can reach you?
The best way to reach me is go to myrealtygains.com and schedule a time with me.
Great. Thank you
That's
so
the
much,
best way.
Prashant. We really appreciate
Hey,
you
we
coming on
really
today.
appreciate all the advice and comments. We really appreciate your transparency. It speaks of you as a general partner. So thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Eva and August, I really appreciate. And as I said, I'm honored that you interviewed me today on your show.